So what is the JET program? Let's just look it up. Wait, I don't, oh my gosh. Okay, so the JET program seems to get a lot of criticism from YouTubers and bloggers alike. But I've also seen really good stories about JET experiences. So today I want to answer the questions, what is the JET program and is it really worth it? As defined on their website, the JET program is a competitive employment opportunity that allows young professionals to live and work in cities, towns, and villages throughout Japan. Being a JET is an opportunity to work and represent the United States as cultural ambassadors to Japan. Most participants serve as ALTs and work in public and private schools throughout Japan. Some work as CIRs as interpreters/translators. The JET program was founded in 1987. They've sent over 70,000 people to work in Japan. It's the only teaching exchange program managed by the government, and there are 55 different countries that participate. Okay, so what are ALTs and CIRs? ALTs are assistant language teachers. So they teach alongside a Japanese English teacher to kids in elementary, junior high, and high school. They make up 90% of all the participants in the JET program. So your duties as an ALT may include preparation of class material for teaching the foreign language, supervising foreign language activities during or after school, providing information to the English language teacher on like grammar, pronunciation, stuff like that, helping out in extracurricular activities like class activities, student council, clubs, engagement in local international exchange activities, or other duties that are specified by your particular organization. As an ALT, you're basically just a teacher. You're going to be working with kids a lot, making the lesson plans and stuff like that. So if that doesn't sound like something you want to do, I highly recommend you find another way to get into Japan. CIRs are coordinators for international relations. So they're basically just like translators or interpreters. They make up less than 10% of all the JET program participants, so I'm not going to touch too much on that in this video. I'm just going to kind of stick to ALTs. I'm also going to be US specific for the application process and the qualifications for this video, but all of the information for other countries is on their website, and I will go ahead and link that down below. So what qualifications do you have to be an ALT? At the top of the list, the first qualification is to be interested in Japan. So they want you to deepen your knowledge and appreciation of Japan, want to be involved in the local community, and make an effort to study Japanese before and after you live in Japan. You have to be both mentally and physically healthy, be a citizen of the United States by the deadline, have at least a bachelor's degree. Any four-year degree works. They're not really specific on that. I think they kind of just want you to have the educational background of like a four-year college student. You have to have the ability to adapt to living and working in Japan. You just realize that it's a different country, very different. If anyone's interested in this, they've probably done their research, but make sure you know all the cultural differences. Japan's a totally different country from America. You have to have excellent standard pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation in the English language. So you're gonna have to have public speaking skills, strong writing skills, and correct grammar usage. You have to not have lived in Japan for a total of 6 or more years in the past 10 years. You have to have an interest in maintaining some kind of relationship with Japan even after the program. You have to agree to live in Japan, obviously. You have to obey all of the Japanese laws. And you have to have finished any period of legal probation or paid any fines. Some things you need to remember, you're gonna be working with kids pre-K through 12th grade, so that has to be something you're willing to do. Also, teaching qualifications are benefits toward your application, but it's not required at all. There are also things that you will get disqualified for when applying. When an individual has committed an inappropriate act or there's reason to believe that they will, you'll be disqualified from the program. If there's false information on your application, they're gonna find out. So don't say you can speak Japanese if you really can't speak Japanese, because they're gonna know. As far as criminal history goes, if you have any criminal history, they require a background check, but I think they allow some things. I guess it depends on what it is, but if you have a DUI or other actions related to drug or sex crimes, especially including children, they're gonna say no. And then also you're disqualified if you don't send in all your forms by the deadline. Which brings us to the required documents. So you have to have the JET application form filled out, a self-report of medical conditions, a statement of purpose, which is a 2-page essay, 2 letters of recommendation from like your professor, advisor, or supervisor, every single college transcript, proof of graduation, and proof of US citizenship. The JET program selects 5,761 participants a year, with only 2,091 of them being first-year participants, and then only 1,119 of those being from America. So basically, 1,100 American noobs are accepted a year. They look over applications every fall, so they just closed for 2020. If you pass the initial screening, you move on to the interview, and then after that, if you're selected, you'll be offered a position and then matched with a organization upon acceptance. CLAIR, or the Council of Local Authorities for International Relations, they're the group that decides where you're going to be placed. They offer counseling and training sessions, and then they conduct promotional activities overseas. They also host all of the events, so like orientation, stuff like that, it's going to be provided by CLAIR. The JET contract lasts a year, and then you can continue the JET program for up to 5 years. Here's some more in detail stuff about ALTs. So like your working hours, you're going to be working 35 hours a week, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 most likely. You get weekends and Japanese national holidays off with some exceptions. You get at least 10 paid days off. You cannot have another job while you're in the JET program. Your teaching job has to be what you're focused on, and you have to show that you really care about it. If you have a driver's license, you can drive. You're paid a salary when you're an ALT. So the salary for the first year is gonna be about 26,000 US dollars or 2,800,000 yen. The pay goes up for every year that you're in the program. So even from the first year to the second year, you're gonna be making 33,500 the second year. The JET program office provides your work visa if you're selected. In Japan, insurance is mandatory. So there's 3 main things that you're taxed for insurance. The first one's national health insurance. It covers 70% of medical expenses. So if you go to the doctor, you're only gonna pay 70% of what your bill is. There's pension insurance, which is if you pass away or you're seriously injured, it pays your family. But after you leave Japan, you can apply to get it back because you're not dead. Employment insurance, which is like unemployment benefits. If you were to happen to lose your job, you could use it. The fourth one is JET accident insurance, which is only available to JET participants. It covers accidents that may happen during travel abroad or temporary visits to your home country. Another really cool thing about the JET program is they pay for your plane ticket there and back. As long as you don't get disqualified while you're in Japan, it's all covered. They also make your housing arrangements for you. You just have to pay the bills. As far as where you're gonna be placed, you can select 3 placement preferences in like prefectures or cities, I guess, but final placements depend on position availability in each prefecture. And most places that JETs are gonna be is in rural areas. If you expect to be placed in Tokyo, that it's just not likely to happen. I would think that they would place people who have been there a few years in different cities, so they're not stuck in the country for the whole 5 years that they're participating. But most people get placed in the countryside, which, I mean, that's great. That sounds great to me. You're not in Tokyo, you're not surrounded by video games and anime and trains. A lot of people just ride their bikes to school or enjoy their time, walk, I don't know, countryside. So you're notified of program selection in April, which is when they tell you they've picked you from the interview. And then after saying yes to them, they'll tell you where your placement is in May or June. The decision is final and changing locations is not an option. So if you don't want to go to where they've placed you, you're just not gonna go. A part that I think is really cool is they have these orientations before and after you get to Japan. So if I were to get accepted here in America, they have a set place in the United States where all of the US participants go and have this orientation about travel, life in Japan, and then like expectations of their new roles. And then once you get to Japan, they have orientation in Tokyo for 3 days. They split the groups into 2, so I'm assuming it's every JET participant for the year, like from each country. They do seminars that go into detail about how to do your job correctly and what your duties are and what you're expected of. Then after that, each prefecture holds local orientation, so they talk about specifics of that prefecture as well as like welcoming you to the community. And then before you go home, they also have another JET conference in Tokyo around February or March. They provide information about job hunting in your home country or in Japan, which is pretty cool. They give you information on pursuing further education, as well as how to deal with reverse culture shock and other aspects of life after the JET program. Like I said before, having a background in Japanese and being a teacher isn't necessary, but it does help a lot. Things like teaching certifications, TESL or TEFL certifications, and Japanese language certifications really higher your chances of being selected. That is what the JET program is in its entirety. All of this information's on their website. They also encourage you to like the official JET Program USA Facebook page or follow them on Twitter because they do updates and notifications about the application and interview process. So why are people bashing on the JET program? It seems really well put together. They pay for you to fly there and fly back, set up your housing. Because I haven't personally experienced it myself, I can't really say a whole lot about the program in terms of what it's actually like. But doing some research, watching videos, people's blog posts, it's pretty mixed. I feel like a lot of people online are going to make posts about it, going to talk about it if it really, really sucked or it was really, really great. So there's probably good experiences that are online, but just not that popular or not even posted online actually. Here are some quotes from some real former JETs that explain their experience. In short, if anyone asks me to do the JET program, I say to them, yes, do it, but do not do it for teaching or gaining job experience. Use it to either improve your Japanese, find yourself personally, mentally, spiritually, and career-wise after college. I'm grateful for the JET program for giving me a good start to adult life and introducing me to so many wonderful people. I'd recommend it to anyone who wants to have an adventure. Anyway, this job is what you make of it, and you can make a ton of it. My Japanese has improved enormously, I've made a ton of new friends, been invited into the homes of the most wonderful families, and I've met countless sweet, smart, curious, and incredibly playful students. What I'm taking away from all of this is that every experience is going to be different. You're not going to be in the same city as everybody. You're not going to be in the same prefecture as everybody. You're going to be working for different schools than other people. Some are going to be private schools, some are public schools. The age difference of kids, if you can take the train to work, if you ride your bike to work. And then it comes down to personal preference when it's travel or where you live or who you talk to. Some people may want to go out every night and get drunk at a karaoke bar, and some people are probably going to want to stay home and study Japanese. Every experience is going to be different, and you're not going to know until you get there. But the whole thing that I think people who are negative about it don't take away from it is like, dude, you went to Japan. You got the opportunity to move to a whole different country, probably across the world, to live in this whole new place and where people don't even speak your language, and just be immersed in like culture and the atmosphere and the people. And I just think that's the whole point of going is to push yourself outside your comfort zone and to experience something completely new. Whether there's negative aspects or positive aspects of it, I mean, that's just life. And yes, some people's situations really suck with this because of really, really bad luck, or maybe JET messed up, but it's not for the most part. I'm still gonna apply for the JET program because It's like a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and my heart's just set on it. I hope this video helped you out in understanding what the JET program is and if it's really worth it. I think it is worth it. And even though I have 3 years to get through school, I am still excited to apply every single day. Again, the JET website's gonna be linked below, so check that out if you want even more information. But that's all I have for you today. Oh wait, I also wanted to show this Japanese book I got from my library at school. It has little stickers that you take out and label things inside your house. And it has little cutout flashcards and like pocket laminate things you can keep. It was just really cool, and no one has written anything in it. Besides me checking it out, the last person checked it out in 2007. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Anyways, that's all I have. So, bye! Bye! My dreams are ruined. My dreams aren't ruined, I'm still going.